Good. All right, Matt from Innovation Plumbing here, Matt Winch. We have got to do a disconnect and reconnect on this hot water system. There's nothing actually wrong with it, except that they've got to do some work behind it. So we are going to disconnect this and leave it for a little while and reconnect it later. We're not leaving site, so we will put connectors on it, but we won't be putting in a junction box because we'll actually be working in this area anyway. In the meantime, we've been inside, spoken to the client, told them that we will need to turn the power off to the unit, and that we're going to be doing a lockout in the switchboard. We've also done a site check just to make sure that it's safe for us to work. We've moved a couple of things, but it's fine. So we've told the client also, obviously, that as much as we're just turning off the hot water system, sometimes other things can turn off that are out of our control. So we'll just go over to the switchboard and you'll see that we've locked it out. We've got our tag, our lock. Also, while we're here, we have a test pen which we can use to check the current down there. You can see it's working correctly. Again. And so we'll come over to our heater and you'll see we're getting nothing here. It doesn't mean there isn't anything, so we will take our cover off. Put our screws down. Now, just quickly on a visual test, we can actually see that there's been a bit of heat here. Now, we know that this is running correctly, but it's starting to show some ages of wear and things like that. And if you actually have a look at the thermostat there, it's actually starting to look a bit discoloured as well. Just to confirm, we've got no power going there. That's just residual, nothing through there. And just to double check it, we take out our connector. One pin in, the other pin in, go over to the voltage, onto our active and onto, and you can see there's no reading. Okay, so what we'll do, all these clips need to come off so this unit can be put out in the right position, out of the way. It's pretty much going back into the same position. We'll give it a bit of a clean out around. It's got a bit of a lean on it. So we will see if we can rectify that at the same time. Clips are off. Okay, just to double check again. Obviously we're locked out, so there's not much chance of anyone touching anything to be able to turn it back on. Undo our active. Undo our neutrals, actives there. Stop being a bit cautious. Undo our earth wire. These ones are tricky. There's our earth wire. Cut the silicone already. We'll pull that through. So we're just going to put these in some caps, into some connectors rather, to then tug test on that just to make sure. Tug test, that's good. Straighten this earth wire a bit. Use a larger connector here just so I can get more of the cable into there. Better. Okay, so that's safely disconnected. We're just going to put this up behind the unit so we can get this unit out of the way. But we will, the power's obviously still off. This is safely disconnected, safe to drain, move out of the way, do the work that needs to be done, and then we'll come back, put it back together and start our testing procedure. Okay, so we've put it back in place. We've cleaned it out a little bit, and what we're going to do is we're just going to disconnect these. We know that we've still got still nothing there. We know that, we've checked that. It's still locked out at the box, and we know that too because we have a left sight. We've been here for a while, so we're just going to take these connectors off. We're going to put them back through, and then we're going to test the cable side, just making sure that before we connect it up everything passes what it needs to pass. That's that one. Alright, so that's those three done. We're just going to put them back through here. Getting ready for down the track. Obviously we could do this while that's not in, but we're going to be doing this anyway. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is a continuity test of this earth cable from here, and we're going to go back to the earth stake. So we have a trailing wire here, a trailing wire that we've had made up, and in this particular case the hot water system is only a few meters away from the earth stake anyway, so we're going to go direct to that. Make life a little bit easier. Onto the earth stake there. And back over to the unit. We are going to put neutral into there like that, like so. Might just change this. Right, so what we're now going to do is turn our mega on, put it down onto our ohms reading, and what we're looking for is something less than 2 ohms, and we're getting 0. Just double check. Yep, and as you can see, when we take that off, we have an open circuit. Put that back on. We've got a nice closed circuit. So that's good. So what we're going to do next is we are going to do an installation resistance test between excuse me, our active and our neutral. Oops. Our active and our neutral, and our active and our earth. So we're going to move our mega around onto the 500 volts. I'm going to put onto the neutral. Make life a bit easier. Onto the active. We come over here. We're on 500 volts, continuous slot, press test. We're looking for anything higher than 1 mega ohm or 1 million ohms, and we've got 1,000 mega ohms or 1 million ohms. We've got 4,000 mega ohms, so that's fine, that's perfect. We'll just turn that off. We'll then go over to our earth like that, and we will do another one. So you lock it, and again, we've got a good reading. Obviously all these readings get recorded within our job software. We put it in our diary, and it holds it in the cloud for us forevermore. All right. Okay, so as you can see, we've changed over the thermostat. We showed the owner while we're here the other one, and showed the wear marks and the burn and everything, and for the sake of having one in the truck and it's cheaper that we're here to do it now, they were happy to get it done. We've also connected the earth wire back up, just because it's a bit fiddly and it's a bit quicker. So we're just going to do an earth continuity test again, back through our trailing lead, back over to the earth stake. You can see we have an open circuit. The moment we put that on, we get a closed circuit with a nice low reading. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to do an installation resistance test. This will be between our active wire there and our earth. Gives us a nice high reading of 4,000 mega ohm, which is more than enough. And again, between our neutral and our earth, 4,000 mega ohm. Now, we're happy with that. The next thing we're going to do is just test this element. This is a 3.6 kilowatt element, so it'll be around the 14 to 15 mark. And if you have a look at the mega, that's fine. So everything's in good working order. We did that just because the signs of wear and tear. There'd obviously been something going on in there, and it could have been just a matter of time. So we've got that done. So all the results that we've done here, we will record. Our job software allows us to put it in our diary and keep it forever. We'll put this back in, fire it up, and we will be good to go. This particular unit is on off-peak and not due to come back on for a little while, but there should be no issues with it at all. All right, great. So I just thought I'd show you too before I sign off. We're putting these back in the terminal blocks just so you can see that they're going back in correctly, and that we will do a bit of a tug test on them just to make sure that, so that's nice and firm, everything there, nice and clean. We'll just tuck all these back away. We will take that down. these clips on. There. I'll just come around that side. I'm just putting them back where they were. So as you can see, nice and firm. We'll get a bit of silicone on that just to fix that up a little bit. The last thing we need to do is just go back to this switchboard. As you can see, still locked out. Yes. And just taking the switch off. There we go. And good to go. As I said, this is off peak, won't come on for a couple of hours, but we will be good to go. Everything tested up fine. Thank you. Okay, my name is Matt Winch. I'm from Innovation Plumbing. I'm going to do a little bit of fault finding and fix some repairs on a light that the electricians have given us for our workshop. They weren't able to sell it, and so they've given it to us, but intentionally they've actually put faults in it because they knew that I needed to do this. So we're going to pull it apart and have a bit of a look. So the first thing we'll do is we'll just take this cover off. It's all obviously disconnected. If I can get that in there. There we go. And we'll have a bit of a visual inspection. So we've got our terminal block there. Everything is nice and sturdy. We've done a tug test on that, and that's fine. Everything's connected. They've actually put a lead on it for us so we can just put it up, and we'll have a visual in there. So, there we go. So we can see on the inside that they haven't connected the earth. So this thing would still function. However, it wouldn't be safe. So we'll go through our test now just to check our continuity on these. And also we'll do an installation test just to be sure. So we'll start with our continuity tests. So we're switching our megameter over to ohms, using alligator clips to make life a little bit easier. But we will, however, disconnect this terminal block so we've got access for both these wires and also for when we're doing this installation test. Alright. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is we will connect our alligator clips to the active. You can see on our megameter it's showing that we've got an open circuit at the moment, and we'll just touch these together and it shows that it is actually functioning correctly. So we will connect to our active at this end, put the installation over so we don't touch anything else, and on this end. Alright, so that's telling us that we've got a closed circuit there, so that's fine. We'll then swap over to our neutral. There we go. Installation there. And again, that's fine. It's telling us that we've got a closed circuit. And now we'll do the one just to confirm it, but we will do the earth. So we'll put it onto there. and as you can see by our meter, it's showing that we've got an open circuit, so there's obviously a fault there. Now, just so we're running through our procedures, we will actually do a insulation test as well. So what we will do is, to start off with, we will do our active, and obviously we will test to both the earth and the neutral. So we're on earth already, so we'll flick our switch around to 500 volts, press our lock button, press test, and you can see that it's giving us a nice high reading, so there's no issue there. We'll take it off our earth. So we're now going to go, we're still on the active side up here, we've done the earth, we're now going to the neutral. And again, with the test on at 500 volts, we're getting a nice high reading, so that's fine. So we'll turn that off so I don't zap myself. Right, so then we're going to do the neutral side. So put our clip on there on our neutral wire, come here and go onto our active wire here. Test is off at the moment, it's clear. Got a nice high reading, so that one's fine. Turn that off, go to our earth. And again, nice high reading, so there's nothing wrong with the active or the neutral. So we will then swap this to earth, which we know we've worked sort of out that this is going to be the problem, but we're just going through the test just to make sure. So we're on earth there, so we will go to our active wire. Okay, so we know that this earth wire is not connected there. We can see it, so there's no point putting our probe onto there. So we will go back over to here, onto this earth wire here, and we'll do our test here, and we've got a nice high reading there. So what we've come up with is, obviously there's no continuity tests through there for that earth wire, so we know that that is a problem. It's simply a case of pulling the sheath off this and putting it back together and making sure that it's going, and then we will actually do another test on it just to make sure that it's wired up correctly. So we'll stop the video now, I'll pull that apart, put it together, I'll show you when it's finished, and then we'll do some more testing. Okay, so as you can see, we've pulled the cover off and we found that the earth was not connected. That didn't make it overly hard for us, but that's okay. So what we'll do is we're going to put our wire back in there. Just give that a bit of a clean up. Put that in there. Sorry. Okay, tighten that up there. Just give it a bit of a tug test there, which is good. Come up around the body like that and put it back in place. Bring our sheathing back up. Let's see if it's going to be kind to me. Righto. Make sure that's nice. There we go, that's better. So it's all back together. Got our little locking nut at the bottom there. Good. Alright, so we'll run through the continuity test again. So we'll take our meter, and the main one we're concerned about is the earth, because we know that we've done the others. So really all we need to do is just double check that this earth is now has continuity. So we'll go back around to there, goes onto there, and it shows a low reading. So we now know that we've got a closed circuit, and once we hook up this terminal block, we should be able to plug this back in quite safely. So we will do that now. turn our meter off. Disconnect it there. Disconnect it there. Put this out of the way. Yeah, that's better. Alright, we'll just do a tug test. That's good. Let's go up the side of the screw there. I might redo that. And a tug test on that, so they're fine. Alright, just went up the side of the screw a bit. Alright, so we should be safe to plug this back in now, so I'll just put this cover on just so we can see it working. That's fine, I've got a power point up and over the back here. There we go, all done. Excellent.